So you've got a first date and you want to make a really good impression. Well, I always wanted to make a good impression when I was dating. And when I was younger, my first dates, I was always really nervous. I wanted to make sure that the date went well and she thought well of me at the end of the deal. And it got me to thinking the other day, I thought, what do women think on first dates? Are they nervous? Are they as nervous as I am? Or are they anticipating things as much as I did when I was young? So I did some research. I went Googling and I did some YouTubing and Googling around to see what the 10 most important things to women are on a first date that are common, the most common 10 things that women want on a first date. So let's talk about it. So most of these are common sense, at least from my perspective, but some of these you may not have thought of before. And if you're going on a first date, try to keep these in mind. And at the end of this, if this has helped you any, or if you think I missed something, or you would add to this list, leave a comment below and let me know what your list would be. I'll start out with number 10. Number 10, of course, is obvious to everyone. It's chemistry. You need that attraction to each other, that chemistry that, you saw her across the room and she's hot and you want to go out with her. So you went out over there and asked her out and she said yes. So chemistry is the first thing that needs to be there when you're dating someone. I would say if there is no chemistry, why bother? So chemistry is number 10. Number 9 is they are looking for someone who respects their boundaries. Physical and intellectual, emotional, you name it. Know how to respect their boundaries. What it makes me think of is don't be overwhelming, don't overcrowd her, don't start touching her inappropriately, especially on a first date. Don't even try to touch her at all unless she gives you the signals that she wants you to be more close to her. But on a first date, respect her boundaries. Number 8, I had jotted down interesting conversation topics. And women are looking for good conversation. They want to know if not only the chemistry is there, but if you guys have things in common and if you can carry on an intelligent conversation. I used to struggle with that because my ADD, my ADHD, my overthinking brain, my nervousness, it was kind of a challenge for me when I was young to be able to carry a conversation. So most of the time, and this is what I used to do, is I used to ask them questions to get them talking about themselves more than I wanted to talk about myself, because I was always afraid back in my brain, my overthinking brain, that I was going to stick my foot in my mouth and there would be awkward silence or she wouldn't like what I was talking about. Number 7 is they want you to be confident, not arrogant. If you can show that you're confident in yourself and confident and display confidence without arrogance, that is very important to them on a first date. Number 6, I had jotted down clear intentions. At some point in the date, you have to communicate with each other what your intentions are. And it doesn't have to be like a job interview type thing or interrogation. Just at some point, let her know what you're looking for. If you're looking for something long-term, let her know that. If you're just looking and seeing where this goes, let her know that too. They don't want to be trying to guess as to what your intentions are. Number 5, and this is one I struggle with everything, is good listening skills. They want someone who's genuinely interested in them and their interests and they're willing to listen to them talk about what they want to talk about. I have this bad habit of interrupting people mid-sentence when they say something that triggers my ADHD brain that I get excited about, like, oh, I've been there, or this or that. And I need to learn how to just shut up and listen to them until they're through. Then go back and add what they talked about that triggered something in me that I can share with them. That's one of my worst weaknesses that I'm trying to overcome to this day, is trying not to interrupt someone. Try to keep my mouth shut until they're through talking. Number 4 is a good sense of humor. And a lot of people's sense of humors don't mix. So if you've got a good sense of humor that can make her laugh a little bit, lighthearted type stuff, not anything crude or rude or anything like that, I think that's a great skill to have on a first date, because it lightens up the mood and it gets rid of all that nervousness and uneasiness and lets the two of you be yourself. Number 3 is authenticity. They don't want someone who is trying too hard or comes across as fake or false, trying to put on a show for them, because they will sense that. They will sense that you're not being your true self. They will sense when somebody is trying too hard, and that can be a big turnoff for them. So just be yourself. I struggled with that when I was young. I violated that when I was young a couple of times because I was so nervous. I didn't want this girl to have a bad experience because I had met her at school. I didn't want things to go bad because I didn't want to fear bumping into her in the hallway at school or what other classmates of hers might say, etc. So just be yourself. Be authentic. Don't try to be someone else. Don't try to be someone you think that she wants you to be. Just be yourself and see where it goes. Number 2 is respect and politeness. And I always made it my goal to be a gentleman on dates, and I would do things like open the car door for her, open the door at the restaurant for her, etc. Things like that. Anything I could think of to be a gentleman. And the number 1 thing I had scribbled down that ties in with number 8 is good conversation. They value good conversation. If you can communicate with each other on a lighthearted, friendly basis and get along on your first date and get the nervousness out of the way, and you have a lot of things to talk about. Now, I remember when I met some dates at school, we automatically had things in common to talk about, which were things going on at school or what classes we were taking or what kind of, stuff after class or after school we used to do. So look for those things. Look for something that's maybe you already know that you two have in common, and just start talking about that. That used to help get me over my nervousness, and hopefully it'll help you. Anyway, these are the 10 things that are common amongst women that they say are important on a first date. My question is, what would you guys add to it? If you had anything to add to this list, what would you add in there? Because I'm trying to think of other things that I experienced on dates that maybe I made mistakes at. Like I said earlier, one of my mistakes usually is interrupting people when they're still talking. And I'm trying to work on that so hard. I mean, I don't know why my brain does that. It just, I start blurting out things when I hear something in common that we have, and I need to stop that. So that's one thing, that's a weakness I need to work on. But if you guys have other things that you would list after this top 10 list, leave a comment below and tell me what you would add in there. First dates are always were always awkward for me. Those are the 10 things that are common to women that they say are important to them on a first date. So what do you think? Do the best you can with what you've got wherever you're at. And leave me a comment below, and I'll talk to you guys on the next one.